Hello, folks.
Hello,
Welcome.
everyone. Welcome to Thursday night here for Two Geek Girls. I'm Crysstal. Hopefully, you all know that already. And this is Geek Girl Lyssa. There we go.
Hello.
I'll get this right. Hi. We hope you guys have had a wonderful week. Let us know in the comments what's been happening. What do you guys want to talk about? What is up? It's been interesting. I hope everyone's Halloween was fantastic. How was yours, Lyssa?
I had a migraine most
Oh
of the
no.
day,
Oh no.
but I did eventually go out to dinner with Josh, and we went and saw Dune.
That was good. Hello. Say hi.
Kitten.
This is apple cider. A little tired today. The kitties got shots today, so
Oh.
yeah. They're a little sluggish, which may be good for me.
Yes.
That may
good
be
for you.
perfect timing for what's going on right now. So sorry. I'm saying
How was your Halloween?
it was good. We had trick-or-treaters fairly early. They started coming out like 5:30 for the itty bitty kids. We're still figuring out what to do in the neighborhood. Yeah, this is like the first official Halloween where we had enough neighbors to have like a real Halloween. And I mean, it was pretty good considering the turnout, but it's still fairly new. I think we're going to try and go with kind of traditionally having people out on their driveways. One of our neighbors like did their garage, like a spooky Halloween garage.
Okay.
I think that's cool. I think it's just a lot easier than doorbell after doorbell or, yeah, I think it would be nice. So we'll try and do that. Well, a lot of neighborhoods do, but yep, that was it. Other than that,
we don't have kids around here, or if we do, there's literally a freaking field with horses right across the street from my house. I lovingly refer to them as my neighbors, Crysstal. The driveway is a good long gravel driveway. Like I bought candy, but I bought candy that I was like, I will eat this and my grandfather will eat this.
yeah.
But if we do get a trick-or-treater, that motherfucker is getting half this bag candy.
Yes. A lot of candy went to work. I'm sure that applied for a lot of people this year. A lot of candy went to work. A lot of candy went to my mom. Yeah. That's okay.
So what you do is you and your mom just split half a bag of candy for the trick-or-treaters for next year?
Yep.
So you get half, she gets half, and then whatever's left is what gets doled out between work and whatnot.
Well, and mom, goes to bed early, so she wasn't going to do the trick-or-treaters. What she did is she just told everyone to come over to our house since we're one door down from her. So that was easy enough. Yeah. Let's see what we got going on. Hold on. I'm fighting with my computer right now. I don't know why. There we go. Anyone that braves our driver, I like that, all of them. Street gets gourmet candy. Yeah.
Exactly. That is my entire mood on this. It's like, no. You stay there. Like, my grandfather has had 2, maybe 3 trick-or-treaters in the past 30 years he's lived here. Yes. Yeah. I'll be back.
We'll be here.
Of course, right as we start.
That's okay. We'll be right here. Take your time. Completely understand. So let's see. We had Donnie. Yes, let's see. We're the red buy for your Power Ranger costume. Let's see what else we got. Lots of guests. I don't know. It's I was definitely thinking about this year doing, I'll do it next year for sure, kind of an adult station. I've seen other people do that, other houses do that. Because, a lot of the older kids come out and they come out with their younger siblings. The parents are coming out. Of course, next year, I think our neighborhood will be done. So it'll be a little bit different. But we live in a very rural area. So any of the divisions that have houses like this, and there's a couple of really nice ones down the road from us, like the gated kind, but they open up the gates and they let people park outside and come up to the houses and trick or treat in their neighborhoods, and that's always really nice. So yeah. I'm having internet issues, but that's okay. There we go. Hi, sweetheart. Got all the dogs here tonight. So yeah, I mean, it seems like everyone. Red, there you go. Yeah, it seems like everyone had a pretty good Halloween. I'm glad you guys did. Did you watch any good horror movies? Did anyone have like a movie night in? And yeah, let me know what you guys wore as a costume. If you got dressed up, I got dressed up. I was the Kelly LeBrock character, Lisa from what's it, Lisa? Can't think right now. From Weird Science. So the people who got it were super excited to see it, and the people just thought I was like some 80s gym teacher, which is totally fine. But that's what I did. Had a whistle and a volleyball and everything. Let's see. Oh, goodness gracious. Here's a question for you guys. Interesting topic came up. I think Alec was sharing something from Deep Space Nine. And somebody kind of brought up the point that the meme that he shared actually had like a big episode spoiler in it. You know, a lot of people take for granted that everybody has seen something that's been around for 20 plus years. So I guess my question is, when you're dealing with something like Star Trek or Deep Space Nine or anything like that, is there a statute of limitations on spoilers? Should you put spoilers up whenever there's something like that? Because yes, some people are watching it for the first time, because for the first time you can get everything streaming. You're not watching reruns, you're not watching with your parents, you're not watching new episodes, you're watching Star Trek being streamed right now. So that is my question. Is there do we have to say spoilers when we talk about?
Just always a good idea to just be like, hey, I know like this is an old product, but spoilers if you haven't watched this and you're interested in it, because a lot of people don't necessarily have access to it when they were younger for one reason or another. And so like now that we've got streaming services, there are definitely more things that people have access to that they never would have to begin with.
Yes. So it is first, we have to admit that within the generation, you got people 20 years younger than us that are watching stuff for the first time, and they haven't gone all the way through. And so they're really excited about it, and they join a Facebook group, or they join, whatever, they follow a thread. And that's what we got now. So that's, I
think it's more just like a kindness to do it for older products. It's not necessarily required, but more like a social. It should be more socially acceptable. To be like, hey, just a heads up, there are spoilers here if you haven't seen it.
If you haven't seen it, if you're one of the kids watching it for the first time, I mean, but there's a lot of stuff that becomes such part of pop culture, like Star Wars. So
I'm not.
I don't know. Every time I have, So every time I make a Darth Vader joke, do I have to say spoilers first?
I don't know. I think it depends on how like intrinsic it has become ingrained in society.
Yeah, I get that.
Because like Star Wars is a good example of one that like even if you've never seen Star Wars, you've kind of got like a good idea of some of it.
Yeah. Well, it's like a lot of movies and stuff that we wouldn't. I don't know. Stuff that we would think of as, okay, Mean Girls. Watching somebody watch Mean Girls for the first time, because they're, again, 20 years younger than me, they're watching it for the first time.
I've never watched Mean Girls.
Okay, so if you ever watch, first of all, I do recommend watching it, because it is just one of the best written movies of that ilk that has ever been put out there. 2, there are so many lines from that movie, quotes, memes from that movie. Even if you've never seen it, you've seen that. You've heard that. We wear pink on Wednesdays. Wear pink on Wednesdays. You can't sit with us. It's like anything like that. It's, people have heard these quotes for years, but they've never seen the movie.
Spoilers, Regina gets run over by the bus.
She does. She does get run over by the bus, which is foreshadowed in the beginning of the movie, which I just realized because I just watched it like all the way through. So it's stuff like that. I mean, spoilers. Batman is Bruce Wayne. I don't know.
My God.
Sixth Sense. Like, are we allowed to talk about Sixth Sense and jump scares and horror?
I see dead people,
including you, Bruce Willis. Spoiler. Yeah.
I see dead people. Wait, what?
Even if you've never seen that movie, you've heard that. You've heard that.
You also know the twist, most likely.
Yes. Yeah.
It is like a 30-year-old movie.
I mean, again.
And the twist really isn't that unexpected, given that, like,
looking
Bruce
back,
Willis,
no.
like, tries to talk to his wife on several occasions, and we did see him get shot.
Yeah, I mean, you go back and you watch the movie, and it makes total sense. I think for a lot of us, it was scary enough. It was scary enough for me. I thought some of the scenes were filmed really, really well with, good suspense.
I watched it in high school in my psychology class.
Yeah, I was little. So, yeah. 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 I mean, it's not the movie that scared me the most growing up, but it did have the jump scares. It did have that stuff for me. So
I was that kid that we'd come to Grandma and Grandpa's and sit and watch horror movies till 6 o'clock in the morning. Candyman, for example, scared the ever-loving shit out of me. I was like 10. I had to fall asleep with a nightlight again after that movie. Because we did the whole Bloody Mary and Candyman in the mirror.
Yep. Well, I'm curious. What is the movie that scared you the most? You guys in the chat section too. What is the movie that scared you the most? Like, has that memory you remember being so scared? It, like sleep with the lights on, checking under the bed, scared.
Candyman.
Was it Candyman? Yeah.
Or what is it? Return of the Living Dead.
Okay.
That one scared me for a while. But I was also really young. I was like 7.
Yeah. I mean, I look back at the Ghostbusters movies where I was really little. And so there were scenes in that that I remember scared me. And I was, again, really little. I probably shouldn't have been watching it at all. The one movie I had to walk out of the theater, and the poor woman who had taken me to go see it was Jurassic Park. I had to leave Jurassic Park. Yeah.
Huh.
I think I was 9 or 10.
See, my brother watched the ever-loving shit out of that when we were toddlers, because it came out the year he was born.
Okay.
So, like, when he hyper-fixated on fucking dinosaurs, Jurassic Park, perfect fucking timing. Like, it's his hyper-fixation on the dinosaurs, great.
Yeah.
It had come out, like, a few months before he was born. And that was also, like, prime time for Land Before Time, too.
Yeah, Land Before Time just made me sad.
The tree stars, guys.
Tree star. Oh, Littlefoot. Poor Littlefoot. You eat one more piece off that blanket. Nope.
Yep.
Nope, it's the dog who's being the problem today.
Anything with Barney or the Teletubbies. Oh, Craig, if you're afraid of Teletubbies, don't sit in on me playing Left 4 Dead. Because I've got the zombie Teletubbies mod on my Left 4 Dead game. It's pretty hilarious, but also zombie Teletubbies. Pretty much all the horror movies I saw were cheesy monster movies, usually introduced by Vincent Price or something like that. Oh, so fun fact, Vincent Price and I have the same birthday, as does Christopher Lee.
See, that's right. They have the same birthday. I did say somebody did share that one. They have the same birthday. Yeah,
they have the same birthday, which is also my birthday.
Oh, gee, look at that.
All right, I'll be back. I think I heard.
No problem. I can't remember. I don't know how far back or how many of you watched Elvira and before Elvira, Vampira. And so a lot of those movies, that's how I was introduced to them. And then stuff like Tales from the Crypt. So everything was introduced to me in a very fun way. Like horror movies were introduced in a very fun way, and something, you know, to sit down with your friends and enjoy. And so I remember that. And then at some point they became a little more serious and a little more, I don't know, realistic is the word, but certainly different from, you know, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes that I remembered as a kid. Yeah, but for me, I don't know what, Jurassic Park just, oh, no, that one was a problem. It was a little too much like being chased by a horrible monster in your nightmares and you can't get away, which it was, that was it. But I was also a little kid. So there you go. Yeah. 12 definitely. Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of those older movies, a lot of those classic horror films. I remember becoming fascinated then. But what actually having a host like Elvira, introducing these movies, making fun of these movies, talking about these movies was certainly a huge part of me getting interested in how movies were made. It seemed to lead one into the other. And horror movies just do not get enough credit for the practicality that they have and the creativity that they have, you know, good storytelling, certainly good performances when they are good. They certainly get a lot of credit for when things are silly or bad or not frightening. But good movies, you know, he was a horrible person, but a lot of gratitude, I guess, to Alfred Hitchcock for mainstreaming, turning it into such a viable, you know, thrillers into such a viable genre that studios will continue to make them. Yeah, you know, it's not for everybody. I completely understand. Alec is not into horror or frightening movies or scary movies or gore or anything like that. But I think a lot of them deserve a lot of credit. That's just me. So that's the one that scared you the most. What was the one for you guys? What's the one that's still your favorite? That's the like best. It could be a thriller or a horror of all time. It could be maybe one that you think is a bit underrated. That I am curious about. I want to know that. Let's see what else we've got in here. All right, so we touched a little bit on we got the Black Adam just on the heels of this just a few minutes ago. They said this is we got the Black Adam trailer, we got Hawkeye, we've got Aquaman 2. I did not know this. The No Way Home. Let's see. I believe. Let's see. No Way Home trailer. Let's see. Never got into, especially when all the slasher gross chap. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the practical effects about it now. I'm very fascinated by how people do it, but that's just me. Okay, so on the heel of all these trailers, still curious to see how Eternals is going to do. Black Adam has apparently, the director's cut apparently is done. That's amazing. Teaser trailer, of course, dropped. Aquaman 2. But I believe, still sitting on top, Spider-Man No Way Home is still, I think, the #1 viewed trailer, official trailer on YouTube. I think it has some ridiculously high count of views, and we could accredit a lot of this to Alfred Molina and people trying to analyze the trailer to see who's coming back for No Way Home. But I guess it's the trailer that broke the internet. Would be actually Spider-Man 3 looks to be the #1. I found that fascinating. Let's see, Silent Running. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one will make you cry. That's true. That was a good one. Oh, Harry Holland. So cute. Hello.
Hello, sorry. Opa has been doing physical therapy recently, and today we had the physical therapist come in, and he's kind of exhausted, so we ended up, instead of getting him back into the living room, we put him in bed.
You can see the cats are just absolutely knocked out from their shots today. Yeah.
That happens.
It does. It does. As long as they're just sleeping, and we watch for everything else, we keep a close eye on them just in case. But so far, it just makes them very tired.
Valid.
So, that's good.
And that's most animals with their shots.
Yes. So they got all that. Just gonna get everything in there. What was I mentioning? Oh, I was mentioning how the hosted horror film nights. It was Vampira and then Elvira and all of that. Yep. Watching them hosted is kind of what got me interested in how movies were made, because you're getting like kind of this behind the scenes, the facts, and if they're making fun of them or they just want you to see something you wouldn't see normally. You know, these midnight showings, these cult movies. I was like, oh my god, there's a lot of movies out there.
Yeah.
And people making them right and left is also, of course, where I got my appreciation for those movies being underappreciated.
Yep.
For a lot of reasons. So that's what we talked about. And then I mentioned, I guess the trailers I've been binging, the teaser trailers and the trailers I've been binging. One, still waiting to see how Eternals does. Let There Be Carnage. Then we've got Black Adam teaser trailer. I don't know how you guys feeling about that one. You guys excited about that one?
I have not seen that one.
It's a teaser trailer, so but it's interesting, and apparently the director's cut is already done, so they're doing well with staying on schedule for Black Adam.
That's good.
Let's see what else we got.
I just typed in Black Adama by accident. Okay, Black Adam, first look.
Yes, we'll talk. We'll do another brief update on Supergirl. No more. Of course, have not decided on a date for the launch campaign yet, but we'll talk about that later.
Have you seen the Morbius teaser yet?
Yes. Yeah, that is.
That's looking good.
That looks like quite a roller coaster ride, because it's one of those you don't know how to feel about it when it's announced.
Yeah.
You're like, this could be good. It could also be really, really bad. You're imagining, for me, I was imagining immediately all the ways it could be bad.
I am hoping this means we're going to get a reboot of Blade. I hope. Whether or not that is the case, we will find out. Actually, who owns the...
For Morbius? Is it still Sony? Fox?
I don't know who owns Blade, technically.
Who owns it now?
Let me find out. Oh, apparently it's playing on Sci-Fi Channel this week. Thank you, Google. Let's see. Director, stars. No, I need to see the full production. Thank you, IMDb. Why is it not? I don't want IMDb Pro. I just want to look. Jesus Christ.
Always trying to sell you something. Oh, let's see.
Here we go. Costume design, makeup, protection, art team. Esri, get all the way in my room, you fucking cat, so I can close the door. There we go. I love you.
Columbia produces Venom. Do they own it, or do they just?
It specifically says Sony Pictures in the teaser
for Venom. Yeah, so Sony still has Spider-Man technically. It's still Sony releasing No Way Home technically. Yeah. I was showing like what's the view
Company
count?
Credits.
I think Spider-Man. What is the view count on that? It was something ridiculously high. Hold on.
Okay, so Blade was released by New Line. Amun-Ra, Imaginary Forces, Marvel Enterprises, and New Line Cinema.
Okay.
So that one might be up in the air. We might not get a Blade for a while.
Yeah.
But there have been whispers that Blade is going to be having a reboot here soon, especially given that, like Sony is doing Morbius. Like,
Yeah.
I could see New Line doing the whole, do you want to form an alliance? Yes, I would. Good. Either with Marvel or with Sony or both.
Or both.
Like, let's be honest, that would be the most mutually beneficial for everyone involved, because that leads that allows them to have an antagonist against Morbius, which they're introducing. Blade gets his primary antagonist from his series, and Marvel can potentially introduce them to the MCU.
Fair.
But
potentially introduce a lot of stuff.
We'll see how that goes, because this is 3 power play companies that like to do big jerk off circles.
Right. Let's see. But yes, yeah, you're right. Columbia is Sony. Yes. I can't keep any of this straight anymore.
I click on it and go with whatever.
No.
But I do know that New Line is still technically their own thing, because they've been producing, like, It, for example. Like, that's the big one that they made in the past couple years.
That reboot did scare me. I admit it. Skarsgård was scary.
I really didn't get scared by him personally, but I also watched the miniseries like a motherfucker as a child. That was one of the ones that we would come to grandma's and grandpa's and, again, watch horror movies. The miniseries with fucking god damn it, why am I blanking on his name? Shit. I can think of his face. He's in every goddamn thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Ezri, get off the battery backup, you little shit. Down. Yes, I'm using a master sword to get up my cat. Down. Mm-hmm. Down, you little shit. It's not working. I'm going to have to get up and do it. She knows she's not supposed to be on there.
Does it anyway. It's because cats be catting. Cats be catting, it's what they do.
I literally have a stool under my desk for you. Dum-dum. And there's a cat tree right next to me. And there's a cat tree. What are you doing?
What do you want? Let's see. Alum says, recently rewatched a bunch of the X-Men movies after the trilogy. There is a lot of continuity. You are right. I'm realizing, I mean...
Continuity and good writing are 2 different things, though.
Yes. Well, and again, this is why I went back and I keep watching, Alec and I both have kept watching, kind of, it left the same taste in a lot of people's mouth, Age of Ultron. And part of it is I'm just listening to what Spader, Ultron, is saying. Uh-huh. Because absolutely a movie made to foreshadow everything that was going to come next. So a lot of what he says, a lot of what, he predicts, a lot of his way of thinking, like he saw a lot of stuff coming, and he had a point. Like it's that the villain that kind of has a point thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I watching that one. So I mean, watching the X-Men one, you could tell. I mean, I don't know about X3 at all, but
we just ignore that even happened for most
of the part. Never happened. It's a bad dream. It was all a dream. but obviously when the movie came out in 2000, when the first X-Men movie came out in 2000, it was a labor of love. It was an enormous hit. It changed what comic book movies were going to be. That was one of the movies that really set everything up. Certainly changed what comic conventions were from then on.
Yeah.
And then you had the second one. That was fine. We have 3. We ignore that.
Oh,
and now
okay, I will say this. The third one, they started realizing that memes were becoming a thing. So literally when they're on Alcatraz and the mutants are the villains are going after the kid that has this power that the cure is being made from.
Yep.
With the Juggernaut. When Kitty Pryde is protecting the kid and he goes, "I'm the fucking Juggernaut, bitch."
Yep.
That is literally line for line from a parody on YouTube.
It was a big merger between civilian media, like democratized media, and what the studios were putting out. Yes. Yeah. Again, the X-Men franchise changed filmmaking
And the third one, it did have some good moments. Like, I like what they did with Kitty Pryde in that one. I like what they did with Kitty.
Okay.
Obviously that moment, some of the things in regards to like Magneto in that one, you kind of get a little bit more humanization of him in that.
Yeah, it's hard not to like anything he does. Ian does.
Here's the thing, like with that one, even like some of the stuff that they were like the other mutants that were on his side were willing to do and against other mutants, he was like,
yeah,
that's maybe going a little bit too far.
Yeah.
Can we tone it down a smidge, guys?
Again, we're always going to parody that line from The Dark Knight. Like you either become the hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Like, what was it? You're either die or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Is at a certain point you're not the victim anymore, you're the perpetrator.
Yep.
That I'm butchering that line, but y'all know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, we know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And it's Empire Legions. I am watching way too much reality TV, y'all. It is messing me up. Way too much.
I think if this is the one. Here we go. The I'm the Juggernaut bitch. It's had multiple iterations, but this is one that someone's updated a little bit. It's in HD, which is not saying much because it's clips from a late 80s, early 90s comic book television series for kids. HD. Remastered.
Let's see. Okay. And then we did have a bunch of stuff happen. Halloween, more information coming out about the rust on set. Horrifying accident happened. Let's see what I've got lately. It's a lot. Let me try to dissect this. So we have a combination of Alec Baldwin making a public statement with his wife next to him outside of their house, whatever that was. You have the Armorer's attorney making a statement. That's Gutierrez. I'm gonna butcher this name, and I sincerely apologize. I'm gonna butcher that name. It's just one of those I've never been able to say correctly. Yeah. So is Reed Gutierrez Reed I remember that, has an official, so she's not ready to speak, but what her attorney has said. And they actually made a statement suggesting that it was sabotage.
Honestly, that was kind of one of the first thoughts I had. Like, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's really sad.
This is sad how
but
many layers there are to this. Yeah.
It's my understanding that people have been like literally about to strike on that set.
They did.
That particular.
Right. So, I mean, it's you have two different stories. You have the one story coming from the production company and then you have the story coming from
all the cast and crew.
The crew. The union crew specifically, except for the DP and the armorer and one other who stayed. And then now we have official statements that Alec Baldwin has shared from another crew member. And this crew member is saying that all of the other crew members are lying about the conditions that they were in. Yeah. So this one crew member has made a statement saying that these are all lies. The crew members said this isn't really what happened. Because you're predominantly dealing with the camera crew. The armorer, being as inexperienced as she was, I think this was the first movie she'd ever done of this size, was a different issue. The assistant director that they brought in, the one who has the reputation, literally the reputation for being the guy that you call in when nobody else wants to do it because of safety issues, is a separate issue. The camera crew, very specifically the camera crew and lighting crew and union members who said that they wanted conditions to change or else they were going to quit. And they came in, they quit. They say that they were then retroactively told to get off of the set and told that they were trespassing. However, they were already leaving. But the production team is saying that, and this one crew member is saying that they were being babies, they were being princesses, they were demanding too much, and so they were fired or they were told, no, we're not. Yeah.
Here's the thing. With my experience with all the union members I am friends with, around on a regular basis, whatever, union members, when they get to that point, they leave a record of everything stated. There is paperwork. There is a paper trail.
Yes.
Because that is what you're able to do to back up your fucking case.
Again,
like, if something like this happened. So if they don't find a paper trail, then that makes it suspicious.
Originally, it appeared to be, like you said, it appeared to be something that had been officially written up. It appeared to be an official, like there was a petition, that there was paperwork turned in. That's originally what was told, that there was paperwork turned in. It was official. And if these conditions don't change, we are leaving. And that was the original statement, and nobody refuted that originally. So yes, but Alec Baldwin is saying that what certain crew members have been saying is absolute BS, and it was all safe. It was all this, and I'm like,
but yeah, like this is from like experiences I've heard about on non-union sets, let alone on full-on union sets.
Especially ones involving guns and involving.
Everyone wants to dot their T's and dot their I's and cross their T's.
Yes.
To make sure that if anything was to happen, it doesn't fall on their ass. Because if anyone can be liable for something, you want to be able to point to the production company.
Yeah.
Because you want to be able to get on that next job.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it has to get to that point. Like you said, it has to get to this point. And it's not any one thing or two things or three things. It's that we're hearing 15 things, 16 things that all sound. And the thing is,
we're going to have to sort through all of this information. And there is the possibility that more than one thing is relevant too.
No, absolutely. That this was a series of events. And I absolutely say that this is the problem with, again, not following all the safety protocols, because one thing leads to another. But again, the fish rots from the head down.
Yeah.
If this was a set It was just about, let's just get the movie made. Let's just do this. Let's just get this done. And people's priorities were off because of their egos, because of their greed, because, 999 times out of 100, nothing bad happens. They're right. Then that's exactly what this would have been. And it makes people lazy. But my own experience, especially with sets that have weapons and have guns and have anything on this, is even especially on union sets, or we're hearing over and over again, yeah, corners are being cut all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard horror stories, absolute horror stories of some of the shit that's happened on sets.
Yep. That right there.
Like, not going to say who exactly this one's from, but like thousands of pounds of cable being hung from the ceiling by one piece of sash. And as soon as you cut one, all the others fall because
and that right there, even if the armorer is saying like someone might have put a bullet in the gun, it's your job. That's your job.
Well, but
I understand somebody sabotage and that, but there at no point should there have been a gun in there without you realizing.
Why was the director even handling the weapon?
Nobody. Why is anyone allowed to be near the gun? Why did anyone have an opportunity to do something like that to the gun? Why did you pick up a gun and hand it to somebody else and you didn't know there was a bullet in it? Literally your job.
Yeah. Well, and if it is something that's like sabotage, like
even then, even if somebody had a mindset, which is on them too, if somebody had the mindset to do something like that, how did they get your gun? How did it get in your hand and then somebody else's hand with a bullet in it?
There's a chain of custody that has to be followed.
Yep.
With evidence or with any safety, anything.
Yep.
Like firearms are deadly, even with blanks.
Even with blanks.
Even with blanks. Like, so many people have thought that, oh, it's a blank in the gun, and they put it to their head, and it's like right on their temple, and they're dead.
And they're dead. And they're dead.
Because they don't think about the fact that a blank has a wad in it. Mm-hmm. So even though it's not a piece of metal, it can still puncture
it's the impact.
You. Yeah, it's literally
the impact.
The amount of gases. In order to fire, so that you get that effect, that's still putting a piece of plastic at how many miles per hour? And if it's point blank range,
right.
It's
I've been in a show with
basic gun safety.
Yeah.
Anyone who's handling the weapon at any point in time needs to know basic gun safety. These are things that have been
do the whole course.
Just like knocked into my head since I was an infant. I grew up with guns. Like if you notice in my cosplay pictures, even when I'm using an airsoft in my pictures for like Jill Valentine,
sure,
my finger is never on the trigger.
There's certain things
unless I am specifically doing something that requires me to have it on the trigger.
Yep.
I never have my finger on that trigger.
Yep. We had
unless you intend to potentially shoot and kill someone, you never have your finger on that trigger. Ever. And you have to know that that's what your intent is.
It's blowing my mind because every time I've been in a production with that, and I've been in a production with a gun that had blanks in it that we had to do for a stage production, and 2 people touched that gun. Period. Mm-hmm. The actor and the person who was in charge of the gun.
Yeah, no, like
that's it.
Hell, even when I've done things with just like a sword, like a fucking rapier.
Sure.
When I was in high school, like the drama teacher specifically was like, the only 2 people, 3 people, because 2 of us had rapiers, that are allowed to touch this during the production are myself and Lyssa and Hannah.
Yep.
No one else is allowed to touch this.
No, it's not a toy.
This is theirs. It's not a toy. Like, they are responsible. They know what they're doing with this. They've got some fight training. like, no one else touches this. Because even though it is a blunted weapon, it is a prop rapier, you can still hurt someone.
We were doing a whole movie with airsoft, but they're made to look like, so everything from AK-47s to like a Glock to we had different models, and that's what they were supposed to look like. But they're all airsoft. They're never ever, and everything was going to be added in after. We never had anything on set that was going to fire anything even a blank. It wasn't meant to do that. These were all whatever. However, we still had to go through how to carry, hold, handle all the time.
Anytime at all. When you're going to be, whether it's a facsimile or otherwise,
right,
you need to be showing the proper respect for whatever you're trying to emulate.
So this idea that Alec Baldwin like had the gun in his hand and had his finger on the trigger during a rehearsal.
Yeah. There should not have even been blanks in that weapon for a rehearsal.
His hand should, you don't need it for the rehearsal either. That's the thing. He didn't need it either. That right there tells me that they were being really loose with the guns. If he's just rehearsing, first of all, there are toys for rehearsing, and they don't look. They're either painted. I forget what they're painted beige or they're painted orange, and they're just plastic, and it's meant to do all the rehearsals.
It's literally for the blocking.
It's for the blocking. Those exist. And that's what you do, because when there is whether it's cold or it's hot, whenever there's something on set, everything is supposed to change. The protocols change. Who's on set changes. But if you're just going through the blocking, that's when you're dealing with, you haven't figured it out yet, which is why you have the stupid plastic ones. They're weighted so that you can get used to.
Yeah, so you get the weight that you need for whatever the prop is,
we've had
because
those.
You don't want that muscle memory going like, oh, this weighs less, so my arm just went way faster than it needs to for this.
Right, there's these rehearsal guns, basically. They have a specific name I can't think of right now, but you know what I mean. Like, this is what you had.
Yeah, it's a tool for blocking the scene.
It's a tool for blocking, and that's it. It doesn't have anything. Nothing moves, nothing turns. There's nothing. It's just a piece, and I'm like, why? There's just so much wrong with this.
Yeah. Everything that I keep hearing from that set just gets worse.
Yes.
And worse.
And I will acknowledge it. It's you do want to feel for everybody involved, because obviously nobody wanted this to happen. But it's
my understanding it was potentially a revolver.
Yes. No, that's what I thought, because they were talking about the chambers. They were talking about that it was.
Then yes, if they've mentioned that there's multiple chambers, then it's a revolver.
Right. Now, again, we're still getting a lot of facts, but given the time period that the story is supposed to take place in, that would be appropriate. And that
single shot or revolver.
Right. Yeah. So again, I want to feel for everybody.
You still have to cock it. And either way, you have to see that there's something in that barrel, not barrel, there's a specific name for the actual, spinny part of a revolver. I can't think of the name right now.
The barrel. I think it's the barrel.
No, barrel's the line.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Where where it comes out of. They were talking about the chambers, so it's the chambers inside of
cylinder.
The cylinder. Thank you. There you go.
So you see that there's something in the cylinder. Before you even aim that motherfucker, you should personally inspect the weapon that you have been handed.
Because the talent that is handling it is also supposed to go through all of the safety training and all of the protocols. They are supposed to be attached to the hip, to the weapon, to the weapons department, to the weaponer, to anybody that's there. They're supposed to be attached to them. Yeah. During that time period, they're supposed to go through all of the safety protocol. The safety meetings involve absolutely everybody on set. And so they're supposed to understand everything about it as well. Again, but bare minimum amount of people are ever supposed to handle these things. The talent that are shown with it on screen and the armor. And that's it.
Really about it.
That's it. Now,
unless there's multiple armorers or multiple people
multiple
using
armors,
that particular weapon.
They may have an assistant, depending on how many there are. There could be a department that's involved. That
maybe a body double. Maybe.
I mean, again, that's also part of the reason why they have the toys.
Tools.
Yeah. That's the other reason that they have them for blocking.
Only people, like maybe at most a total of like 5 people should ever touch that weapon.
I mean,
and that's assuming that there's multiple people doing the same part, so to speak.
Okay.
Did you say Skittles?
Alec did it.
Alec. That's my dog's name.
Yeah. We're not keeping the dog, so I think Alec just wanted to do that I'm sure it'll get renamed. Yeah. They all do.
That's my dog's name. God.
I know. And he's got 2 other friends that also have dogs named Skittles. I'm like, you just want a dog named Skittles because everyone else has a dog named Skittles.
In my defense, it was literally because when I rescued him from the side of the road, he was very, very skittish, and the only people that he trusted were women. Yeah. So he got named Skittles.
Aww.
Because that was the first thing that came to mind. I'm like, I don't know, he's skittish. Skittles?
Yeah.
Like, we weren't intending originally to keep him. He was my foster fail.
Right. Which Alec keeps lobbying for that, and I'm like, no, you picked out the last one, and we've been stuck with her ever since. Stop. I say that in all love for Itty, but...
I love Itty very dearly, but Jesus.
Exactly. Yeah, she's our Marley. She's our Marley. I'm like,
she is something else. Itty is definitely something else.
So, wrapping up that story, one, I do want to acknowledge how absolutely young the armorer is. In my opinion, far too young to be given the position that she was in because she's easily pressured. And that's the other thing that I kind of feel like in certain positions. You could have an incredible amount of life experience. You could be very good at what you do. You could have a very strong personality. But when you are new to the industry, and she is, and you are around other people who have figured out how to get their way before you were born.
Yeah. I hope for her sake that obviously this is going to be a setback for her.
I
hope this is not the end of her career. I hope.
It would take a lot because at some point she still made a mistake.
Yeah.
At some point it still wasn't okay. But I try not to be an ageist in any way, and I want to acknowledge that a lot of people have been through a lot, and they can be incredibly smart, incredibly hardworking, and very talented from a very young age. And certainly if you're, asking an actor to take on the pressure of headlining an entire $300 million movie, you should give them the respect of, what they're doing. Yeah. But I feel like it's an unfair dynamic, and Alec Baldwin has proven him and the people he surrounds himself with and other producers that he works with have proven, if nothing else, to be bullies multiple times in their life.
No, like Alec Baldwin is renowned for being more than just a bully.
Yes. I'm being diplomatic because there's what we can say and then there's what has been legally found in court, and I can't really allegedly. There's alleged, but then there's what we know. Bully, at the very least, on a good day. So that's the other part that when I realized how young she was and that this was like her first time doing this, that all of that to me, and this is alleged, this is just my opinion, sounds like finding the person that met the bare minimum of the criteria for the paperwork. So you could say you were following the rules. You could say you had that union member. You could say you had this. But I mean, again, this is the other part too. When you have people getting credentials, getting accredited, because producers want to cut corners because it's cheaper to hire an inexperienced person, or it's this to hire that, or you're even if you have to pay them the same amount of money, or you don't, which you may not, because more experienced people can absolutely demand a higher salary. One, paying them less, and two, certainly being able to get your way compared to somebody who would walk off and say, I'm not doing this job, it's not safe.
Yep.
And that's just an epidemic.
Well, and someone as young as Gutierrez doesn't often know that they have the tools and the ability to shut something down when they are in that position.
Yeah. No,
because technically speaking, as the armorer, if she says no, production is fucking stopped.
Yes.
And there's nothing they can fucking do about it. But she probably didn't even realize that, because this was her first production where she was the one in charge. Yep.
Certainly of this level. Certainly of this size. I'm not 100% on all of her resume, but I know that this was really the first time of this. Yeah.
She's what, 24, if I remember correctly?
22? 24. Yeah, maybe 24. I think you're right. Maybe
I want to say she's 24.
I think
she's a little bit older than that. But still,
24. Yeah, 24. Yep.
At most, she's been doing work in the film industry for about 6 years. And that's assuming she's immediately started right out of high school and was like, yep, this is what I'm doing.
Yep.
It
calls into question, why do we have somebody so new to this? Because the first thing I think whenever I've seen that on a set has been because the experienced people didn't want to do it.
Well, and that could be the case. Sometimes.
Well, we know people turned it down. We have had.
If people turned it down prior,
people turned it down.
It's one thing if you're an up and comer and you were on the short list. It's another if people were turned down the situation because they did not feel that it was safe. But someone who has little experience in this department of something of this scale would not have the power nor really the ability, because of the fact that if you turn something down like this when you're just dipping your toes in the water, you might not have an opportunity like that again.
So, no. And I mean, putting myself in a 24-year-old's shoes, absolutely. It would have been the beginning of a whole new level of your career. Okay. So this was one of the first reports that came out. They contacted, various people who understand props were contacted, including, but you didn't hear that from me. Were contacted because of their experience with props and understanding handling of props and understanding, replicas and everything else. Were contacted trying to get information that they had it. But the most relevant that they had was Neil Zaromsky, if I can say this right. So he was a veteran. He's a veteran prop master, and that's including armorer. And he was asked. And he's one of several that were asked. And they all turned it down. They all refused.
Yeah.
No.
What was wrong? What was wrong from the start that all of these people turned it down?
So he's a 30-year veteran. I'm trying to pull up everything else that he is. He was asked to join while they were filming in New Mexico. And let's see. So he was immediately interested because they had what he, many times has specialized in, and that's the pistols, rifles, even the wagons and saddles and everything else. We're talking about entire props department that was there. So he would not have been, I don't think he would have been the armorer, but he would have been the props master, and then underneath of him would have been, right.
Yeah.
So, but he would have been in that. So it was 4 days of informal discussions. Zaromsky said there were so many red flags. He was interested in the job, but after talking with the production team, he felt it was being slapped together. He felt that corners were being cut. They were ignoring things that he was saying, concerns that he was bringing up, just ways that he works, and he turned it down. And he's not the only one.
Well, it's one thing if it's like, hey, this just isn't a good fit. It's another if they specifically say, there's red flags here and I don't feel safe.
Right. If they were not going to follow the protocol, he wasn't going to do it. Yeah. And that's a 30-year veteran. So when I hear that from somebody that experienced, and I'm hearing that, and then I'm seeing who they hired was a 24-year-old newbie.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder why. Yeah. Where's your puppy?
I got him. He's away.
Okay. Yeah, you have to answer to Lyssa for naming him Skittles, by the way.
Why?
Her dog's name is Skittles.
Oh, well, okay.
I love how he's like, oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's great.
Oreo.
I don't think
hi,
you remember. Lyssa says hi.
Hi.
All right.
Where's Lucifer?
Check under my shoes on that little wardrobe thing in the hallway.
I still say the cat's name is Lucifer. There's nothing in my mind that changes this headcanon.
It is absolutely the most evil looking cat in the house. And she is the one, if you're not petting her, and it's not petting her right, if you're not petting her at all, yeah, you will get bit. There. Tell me that doesn't look like a Lucifer.
That's a look that Esri gives me all the time. Speaking of, Esri, yeah? Come here. Let's get the kitties on screen.
Okay.
Come here.
I hope you guys can hear the purrs.
Unfortunately, no. There we go. Oh, hey. Esri took your cat's black.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They're good kitties.
They are.
Good kitties.
She's a little shit, but I love her.
Yeah, all of them.
That's just cats for you.
That's cats be catting. Cats be catting.
Well, that's any pet, though. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, my rabbits.
Uh-oh. It got quiet.
Yeah, why is it quiet? I'm much happier when I can hear them stomping around like a herd of animals upstairs, and I know what they're doing.
Okay. My headphone cord is. Okay, there we go.
Oh, that's a good note to end on.
Aha!
Oh, the cat, you got it. That's a good note to end on. We say hi, kitties.
I had a cat that answered to damn cat.
Damn cat. What?
Esri answers to little shit.
Yeah.
Or derp. Yeah, don't you? Don't you, little derp?
It's all in the name of love. It's all in the name of love.
Alrighty. Well, thank you all for being here.
Thank you guys so much
watching
for
this
joining
after
me.
the fact. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you all very much. Obviously, we got a little heated about this situation for obvious reasons.
Yep. So thank you for listening. Thank you
for something that was entirely preventable. So
many ways. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for indulging us. Thanks for giving us the weekly update, what you guys have been up to. Again, I hope you had a wonderful Halloween. Get ready for Thanksgiving because, hey, why not? Food. I'm all about it.
To get ready for my uncle and his wife and his 4 kids in the house with us. Save me.
Can't.
I love them very dearly, but Jesus Christ, my little cousin, the girl.
Yes. Yes.
She still hasn't quite outgrown tantrums.
Oh God.
Anyways, we love you all. We will see you next time.
See you next time. Again, happy. Thank you so much for joining Two Geek Girls. We hopefully see you next Thursday. And until then, live long and prosper.
Bye.